Hi and welcome to the channel and welcome to another video. First of all, I'd love to just want to say is what a fantastic response I've had to those two classic caravans, the 1984 Sprite Musketeer and the 1984 Avondale Pearl. A bit of coincidence that they were all really the same age. As I say, bit of a cold, I'm afraid, a summer cold, one of those things that crops up. I've got my granddaughter with me, she's there hopefully, and I've just come to visit. This vlog's from Corbridge. I'm in Corbridge, which is in Northumberland. Now this area I've known for years. I've been coming here since, well, young lad, 1972 came with my parents. We had a new Welton Caravan, Welton Rose Leader Caravan, and we also had a Mark III new Cortina. They'd only been out a year or two, and we had a 1.6 XL with vinyl roof as well. And we stopped at a site called Fellfield Dean, which is a site I've been on many times. It's just outside of Hexham. It's a little village called Acomb. Fantastic site. I've not been on there for a few years now, but I used to go on there a lot. I used to take test caravans up there, my own caravan up there. There used to be badges and all sorts of things. And over the years, the amount of people have had have been wardens. We've had some really nice people, real good wardens. But I've not stopped on that site for a few years, unfortunately, sadly. It's some site I'd like to go back on again at some stage. But yeah, I'm at Corbridge, and which is a few miles from Hexham. And there's a little bit of trivia. It is a place where, if you've ever seen the film The Likely Lads, when their feature film was made about 1976, and they actually borrowed, it was supposed to be borrowed Bob's parents' caravan, I think it was, which happened to be a 1975 Sprite Alpine plus a new then Vauxhall Chevette, I think it was a hatchback, 3-door, and Bob and Thelma, and he took Terry and his I think it was a Swedish girlfriend, and they were going to take them and on this caravan tour, and they ended up in all sorts of places. But the thing was that Corbridge, the two girls are in the caravan, and they stop at Corbridge by the church, and there's a wedding going on, and Thelma and the girlfriend don't know where they are, so they come out of the caravan in the 90s. The vicar's there, he nearly drops his book, his hymn book or whatever, and everyone's sort of looking, and because Bob doesn't know that they're outside the caravan, because they're sort of like they'd fallen asleep, and he hitched the caravan up and towed it off. Anyway, they're left in the middle right by the church in Corbridge as they drive off. It's quite a good film. I'm a bit of a Likely Lads fan. It was a good film, but that little bit was done in Corbridge. Yeah, you too. So at Corbridge, at the rugby club, there's a bit of a site here. The Motor Caravans Club are here at the moment, but also there's the HCC and Historic Caravan Club for real, for people who really want to keep old caravans on the go. And it's very difficult these days because lots of the caravans have long gone, and also it's got to, he's getting people interested into actually doing this sort of hobby, because this is a different way of caravan. It's how caravan used to be. Now there's caravans here from 1930s, 60s. I don't think there's a 70s on here. But we've got old names like Winchester. Now I did a video on the Winchester. It was Rob and Jake had that, and I did one a couple of years ago at a rally. That was a periodic classic caravan club rally. But there's names such as Fisher, Car Cruiser, Sterling, and Sprite, and that's right. That horn just went off. My little granddaughter told him to shush. So there's lots of one or two different names here now, all gone apart from Sprite, of course. And that's Andy's Sprite Country. Now we've done a video on that, but it was all in darkness. It wasn't very good. So I might ask if it's convenient. I'm going to ask Andy if I can do a quick video of his Sprite Countryman. Now we're out next to the railway, of course, and it's been. I mean, it's a really close day today. It's really muggy and everything. And I thought today I'm going to make a trip out. I'm going to make a trip out to see them here at the rally at Corbridge, even though for a few hours, because I love the drive over it. It just takes me back to the amount of holidays that we've had in this area, me and my wife, and just me and my granddaughters today. But my daughter's been all around here when she was her age and what have you. And we used to go to some great pubs and national trusts as well. And in those days there was a lot of old caravans still knocking about as well. It was quite interesting for the likes of me. Though a lot of those vans have now all but gone, sadly. But hopefully I'm going to do a few shots. I don't know if people allow me in the vans. If they don't, that's fair enough, because I don't think I'd want people, so, you know, me coming around with my camera and prodding about. You know, basically I think you know, I've come here to enjoy me rally and to sort of caravan as they would have done back in time. And if you notice, there's all these funny little tents outside, and they're what they call toilet tents. Now, I mean, you don't see that often so much these days, because a lot of sites have got loos on. But if you're a camper and you've got a site where there's just tents and nothing, a water point and what have you, then you definitely need a toilet tent. I remember my parents getting a toilet tent for the first caravan we bought, and oh my God, trying to get that set up, and it was a good quality, and we got it as part of the deal of the very first caravan we bought. And Dad said next time we're at a caravan, he said, we'll make sure it's got a toilet compartment in. And we did. We bought a brand new 1969 Eldest Tornado. Eldest has only been going about 5 years then. 69, yeah, 4 or 5 years. But we love that caravan. We had a couple of Eldests after that. Never had any problems at all. But yeah, I'm hoping that people might just let me have a look around, because you know, you are intruding on people. But I'm always interested to what's around, because sadly a lot of these caravans have gone now. They're on their AGM meeting. They're on a bit of a meeting about how the club's going to go and all that sort of thing. I'm sort of a ghost member, but I wouldn't ever intrude on their meeting, because that wouldn't be right. So I'm just going to take you around now some of the vans and just take some shots. I'll take a few still shots and mix it in with a video. My granddaughter's there amusing herself with crayons. Peppa Pig, of course. I know she's perfectly safe here, so, and she's enjoyed it. She's enjoyed the ride across. We came over Alston, which is over the top of Alston, and incidentally, 1969, that was when we decided to actually get a caravan. But there'd been a crash there, so with a motorbike. So someone's coming to run over across to me. No one's going to say anything. I was just coming to get something. They had their ambulance, so I was held up there for ages, and so that put me a good old hour behind getting here. So I'm hoping I can get a bit done and see a few people while you know, time allows. Anyway, enough of me babbling on. Let's have a look around. Don't go in there, Olivia. It's a toilet tent. A toilet tent, yeah. What's one of those, Dan, Grandad? Well, don't go in there, because that's not yours, is it? You stand up and sleep in that one. No, I'm only joking. Come on, let's have a look around. Have you got your cranes with you? Good girl. Right. Felt a big drop of rain then. Right, let's have a look. I've been having a look around the van. The trouble is everybody's on this AGM meeting. It's quite an important meeting for the club. Say it's a very warm, humid day with intermittent showers, really. And as I say, I was hoping to probably get into a couple of caravans, but I don't know if I'll be able to do that. It was more going to be a vlog originally from this, just visiting this little rally, to be honest with you. Now, by the time you see this, you may find that if anybody subscribes or watches Weekends Away, Phil, I'm making a bit of a guest appearance on his channel, Caravan Corner, I think they call it, and it's he asked me quite a few questions and things. I mean, pre all that, we did have quite a few sort of very in-depth discussions really about how YouTube is and how it goes and who's on it and all that sort of thing, but that was off camera. But anyway, no, it was an enjoyable afternoon in Phil's van, his Sprite, and yeah, it was good to have a chat. And also, he's like me, he's got a Skoda Karoq, although he's got the SEL, I've got the Sport line. Just thought I'd mention that. No, it's a very nice car. It is newer than mine. But no, so what else is to report? Well, 2026 stuff is going to be out soon. Well, when I say out soon, it's not going to be out till September, but I'll be getting some insights. Now, when I do and I can release anything, then I will, like I've said before. I'm hearing some quite exciting stuff which I can't unfortunately tell you about now, but I'm hearing some quite exciting stuff that's coming from the manufacturers. I think we're going to see quite a lot of changes, because I think what's happening is that manufacturers realise they've got to produce something that people want to go out there and buy and change, that's going to be different from their caravan that they've already got. And like I've said before, I think there's a market. You can't leave those solar panels alone. Leave them alone. Leave them alone. Go away, away. God, you got to watch her all the time. She's just into everything. She wants to be dismantling things. Yeah. So, as I was saying, yeah, so it's quite a lot of exciting stuff. I think there's going to be some, hopefully, from what I'm sort of hearing, and what I've been on about for a few years now, is something more affordable for people, and lightweight as well. I think that's going to be the way that, if caravans is to survive, because otherwise it'll just become a niche interest. It'll become how motorhomes used to be back in the sort of 60s, really, and very early 70s. It was still very niche, and if you had a motorhome back then, it was like, ooh, you got a motorhome? Right. You had a caravan, it was different. Oh, you got a caravan? Yeah, so have we. And it was like that. Now it's the other way around, isn't it? You got a caravan? Oh, right. Now it's like, you got a motor? Yeah, we've got one as well. Yeah, we've been to so-and-so, and we've done this, we've done that. So it's roles are reversed. And who knows? I mean, I'd like to see them reverse back round again. As I say, Motor Caravanners Club is on here. As I say, this is Corbridge rugby pitch, which I've been coming to Corbridge for years, but I didn't know they even had a rugby club here at Corbridge, to be honest with you. Lovely spot, by the way. If you ever hear, please come and have a good look around Corbridge. It's a lovely spot. It's also quite upmarket as well these days. A bit different from when I went there. Now I'll tell you another little bit of trivia about Corbridge. That's right, I better just check what my granddaughter's doing. You watch what you're doing in there. Oh, I tell you. Yeah, I'm going back now to 1989, and it's when we were stopping at Falfield Didnt, and I had my Marauder, my first new Tourer, which was an 8-bit Marauder, which was an 87, and my sister and her husband came for the day to visit us from Kendal way, and we ended up going to Corbridge, and I think we had we might have had an afternoon tea somewhere, long gone now. But there was a guy coming through with a caravan, and the caravan was a modern for whatever reason, some people might know them. And this caravan was coming through. I heard this very odd noise. I mean, he wasn't going very fast. He was just sort of really trickling through the village. And I heard this noise. It didn't sound good. It sounded like something, like a bearing or something like that in the wheel. And all of a sudden, the caravan just went right onto one side, and the wheel literally came off. And it scraped obviously along. He realised what happened. He stopped, and we had a chat. We had a chat with him, and I think he got the air out eventually. But he was an oldish chap with his wife, and he said, "You know what?" He said, "I've just had this caravan serviced." He says, and he said, luckily, he says, I'm not 69 doing 60 miles an hour when that happened. He said, we only came through this way because we took a wrong turning. And as it happened, he was only going about, 10, 15 miles an hour. So, had he been going faster, it could have been a lot worse. But yeah, that was on a modern caravan. I'm just got to keep an eye on her. I don't know where she's gone. Oh, she's pretending to be asleep. What she tends to do, she tends to take over people's things. I say it's not ours, don't do this, don't do that, but she just sort of makes herself very much at home. So what else is happening? The static caravan thing carries on. There was a thing on Radio 2 the other week about this, and I understand there's been a lot of people ripped off, and I think there should be some legislation in where a certain percentage of value of that caravan needs to be returned to the person who bought it. And I think that needs to be agreed amongst park owners. I think there's some legislation needs to be done, because it's just doing nobody any good. It's not going to do the park owners any good long term, and it's certainly not doing the manufacturers any good at all. We've lost Atlas Holiday Homes, and we've also now lost a company called Arrenbrook. Arrenbrook were only a small company, had been going since 1987, and I met the MD about 7 or 8 years ago, and it was a little company. They had a nice niche market. They did a lot of stuff for export, and because of the market tightening up, obviously sales have gone down. Also, the bigger boys have gone for some of the export markets, and poor old Arrenbrook just lost it, and the original owner died a couple of years ago, and it's just went down, and it's ceased to trade after nearly 40 years. So I was very saddened to hear about that. And it was a factory I always wanted to get round to, because they only employed about 70 or 80 people, something like that. Not even maybe as many as that. But they always had that nice little niche market and produced some very good holiday homes for the money. But as I say, all this business on about the park owners has so much bad press, and of course social media can work both ways, as we know. It can do good, it can do a lot of bad, and yes, I do feel sorry for people who put a lot of money into something and were missold it maybe, but there's also a lot of people went in it completely knowing what they were doing and just thought that they'd get all the money back. But that just wasn't going to happen. It doesn't happen if you buy a car, you lose a lot of money. But at the end of the day, buyer beware. Now, as I say, I know lots of people have had static caravans for years, and they love it because it's a long-term investment, not short-term, but long-term, and that's the difference. And to be quite honest, when you're doing this sort of thing, you really do need to be watching what you're doing. I wouldn't be spending this 80 grand. If I was buying a motorhome, I don't want to know all the ins and outs, how much you're going to get for it when it comes to selling it. Obviously I know I'm not going to get as much, but at the end of the day, I don't want to be thinking I'm going to get more money than what I paid for it. Now, back in the day, and I've said this before, in the 80s, it's just like my granddaughter in here. Back in the 80s, what you doing, granddad? So I don't clamber all over it. It's like a mother all over again, this. What the problem has been, as I say, in the 80s, with inflation in the 70s, a lot of people were getting more for the caravan than what they paid for it. It was just how it worked out then, but now those times have gone. Now also what they failed to tell anybody is that demand has gone down for holiday homes, and a lot of it is because of all this problem, and it is building back up again. It needs to be shown people, and it's fair. People on parks to say, look, this is how much it's going to cost you. This is in 5 years' time. The site fees may go up £1,000 or whatever, so you know where you are at. I'd always get a solicitor involved, just like buying a house. As I say, lots of people been holiday home stuff for years, and they've loved it. I mean, say my sister and her husband think it's fantastic, and they've got friends who've got a holiday home, and they don't. You know, my brother goes, oh, well, so what? You know, if I get 10, 15 years out of it, to me, he says, I've got my value. And he's absolutely right. He has. So, as I say, reading Practical Caravan from 50 years, I think I've mentioned this before, it said then to get a solicitor involved, and also don't expect to get something, a lot of money back than what you paid. And it's, you know, it's a long-term investment. So with the holiday home stuff, I think we have got a lot of bad press, and I think it's really doing people a lot of damage. And don't forget, and again, after the massive COVID thing, the market became saturated like anything. And it's happened with some of the tours. People lost quite a few grand on a tour because they bought something that wasn't very popular, but it was popular because nobody could get anything else. And now that everything's come back into stock again, that surplus stock is one that nobody really wants to own, so consequently it devalues more than ever. So it's horses for courses, I'm afraid. Anyway, look, I'm going to get back onto this classic caravan scene in a minute. Caravan over there, car cruiser from the early 30s, late 20s, and a car to match. Now look, this is a movement, to my mind, that needs a lot of encouragement, because it's one of our UK's heritages, all this sort of thing. We're very good at throwing our heritage away in this country, have you noticed? And when it's gone, it's been sold off abroad, people are crying about it instead of trying to save it. And this sort of old caravan movement, it should be really supported. And I think probably caravans now from the 70s definitely and into the early 80s should be now probably involved in this type of thing. And it's just a throwback to rallies, how they used to be. Caravan, I mean, when I used to go on to caravan rallies in the late 80s, there was probably 60, 70 caravans on a rally. I bet there's only 20 of that now. I'm on about modern times. But these sort of things, you know, back then, these manufactured caravans were all individuals' designs. There was no computer-aided design. It was what somebody came up with out of their head. And they'd go and say, well, this is what we'll come up with. Yeah, get on with it, was the answer. It's warm. So, yeah, it needs to be supported. If you want to get in the classic caravan scene, the HCC, the Periodic Classic Caravan Club, they've got websites. Get on there and have a look and see what they do. They do a lot of worthwhile things, and they need members. And it's well worth to join. I'm a ghost member, really. I don't come on the rallies. I try and visit them if I can. You know, I don't know how difficult it is. But anyway, I'm going to leave this video, and if I can, I'll tack on a bit of some extra bits of video clips. Right, I'll see you on the next one, but anyway, I'll see how we get on, see what's what. I've got a few people to just say hello to. Thanks for watching, be back soon.